Life is full of waiting. We experience it every day in nearly every part of our lives. We rush out of our homes only to sit in traffic. We speed through the grocery aisles only to stand in line at checkout. We hurry to make our doctor's appointments only to spend another 30 minutes in the waiting room. Waiting is so constant that we hardly notice it anymore. Airport security, customer service hold music, loading screens, product launches, restaurant lines, and more. The New York Times once estimated that Americans spend 37 billion hours every year just standing in lines. But while for us, waiting feels frustrating, even like wasted time. For businesses, waiting is a make or break moment. In fact, studies show that even just a 2-second delay online can double the chance a customer leaves a site. I mean, we all have personal experiences leaving establishments because of long wait times. Every wasted second translates into lost revenue, sometimes even millions. Yet, waiting isn't always a liability. For some companies, it can be used as a deliberate strategy to build anticipation and drive sales. In this video, we'll explore how waiting affects business and the influence it has on consumer behavior. Every second a customer waits is a second a business risks losing them. Waiting isn't just inconvenient, it's expensive. In retail settings, the effects are visible. Shoppers see a long line and abandon their carts, perhaps even before filling them with anything. In restaurants, the stakes are even higher. Customers may decide the wait time is too long before ever even entering the establishment, judging by how full the parking lot is or a long line at the door. Then, if they do make it into the restaurant, they may decide to turn away once they see what the wait time is going to be. We've all experienced the feeling of pulling up to our favorite restaurant with family or friends, only to discover the wait times are far too long, and then driving away fuming as you contemplate where you'll be spending your money instead. But the impact of wait times on the restaurant business doesn't just stop there. Once seated, customers also expect quick service. A delay in food or drinks can ruin the entire experience. This often results in customers leaving mid-meal, deciding to go elsewhere next time, or even leaving negative reviews of the restaurant online. These negative reviews will linger on beyond just that single night and cause potential loss in revenue over time. Just a single bad waiting experience can reach tons of potential customers online and cause a business's reputation to be tarnished in the minds of hundreds or even thousands. Not to mention, the long wait times could result in low tips for servers and eventually cause them to quit, which forces the restaurant to cover the cost associated with employee turnover. Theme parks face the exact same challenge. Long lines force guests to skip the most exciting rides, and instead they are left with the memory of riding the least desirable rides while simultaneously upset that they aren't able to enjoy their favorites. And when these families decide not to come back, theme parks lose years of loyalty. And online businesses are no exception to this rule. A slow website is the digital equivalent of a crowded line. Slow load screens cause customers to leave sites and abandon carts before ever even completing the checkout process. Amazon even discovered back in 2006 that every 100 milliseconds of delay reduced their sales by about 1%. This means that even a 2-second delay can cost businesses millions in online sales. Fast load times are crucial in a landscape where your strongest competitors are only ever a few clicks away. The bottom line is this: whether it's a long line, a packed parking lot, or a buffering screen, managing wait times is essential for any business as they impact profit, loyalty, and brand perception. If they fail to manage this properly, waiting can become a huge problem for a business. But waiting isn't always a weakness. In fact, some businesses turn waiting itself into a strategy that can lead to millions in profit. While we've covered the negative impact waiting can have on a business, sometimes it can be engineered to drive sales. This is an art that Apple has mastered. Every Apple product launch is designed to build anticipation. Apple starts with teaser campaigns to spark excitement about their new products up until launch day, when customers camp overnight and refresh websites for hours while they wait for the newest iPhone to release. This wait isn't accidental. It's part of the strategy, because the wait is what allows Apple to build up anticipation for the new product, and this anticipation is what turns delay into desire. Apple isn't just selling phones and products, they're selling the experience of waiting for them. This is a tactic we see used everywhere. We see it used in sneaker drops, video game and movie releases, and by luxury brands introducing new products. The wait for these products is what makes them feel important and exciting. It allows customers to fantasize about how good the product will actually be. In fact, in many cases the product itself ends up being lackluster in comparison to the perception customers created for it while waiting for it to be released. And while we discussed the negative impact of waiting on businesses such as restaurants and theme parks earlier, even they can benefit from wait times if they use it strategically. For example, a full restaurant can signal to customers that their food is in high demand and therefore must be of high value. Alternatively, many theme parks actually monetize their wait times by offering fast passes for customers to be able to skip the long lines by paying extra for a special pass, turning frustration into revenue. In these cases, waiting isn't a weakness. It's a valuable tool used to build anticipation, amplify demand, and signal to customers that their product has value. It's a tool that turns ordinary product launches into massive cultural events. But to us, not all waiting feels the same. To understand why some waits create larger-than-life excitement, while others leave us seething, we need to explore the psychology of waiting itself. When analyzing how a business should use waiting as a strategy, they should always consider how their customers are going to perceive the wait, because not all waiting feels the same. One influence on customer perception of waiting is fairness. People are more likely to tolerate a wait if they believe the system is fair. Most customers will wait patiently in a system where people are served on a first-come, first-served basis. Now on the other hand, if people start cutting to the front of the line, or if certain exclusive people get to skip to the front, it creates anger and frustration. This is because in our minds, the wait isn't just about time. It's about the integrity of the system. Another important factor in this process is distractions. For example, time always seems to fly by much faster in our minds when we have things to keep us occupied, such as good background music, conversations in line, or maybe even TVs to capture our attention. This is why you often see TVs placed in waiting rooms. Smart organizations understand that if they are able to keep us distracted effectively, it will buy them more time. Certainty is also important in making wait times feel manageable, as a known wait time is much more tolerable. When you don't have an exact time, the wait can become unbearable as your mind begins to create hypotheticals about when the time could possibly be, and this begins to make the wait feel like an eternity. And we can't forget about the role comfort plays in all of this. This is why waiting rooms in restaurants often offer seating for customers while they wait. People are much less likely to complain if they are able to take a seat instead of standing endlessly in a crowded room. But ultimately, many things go into creating a comfortable waiting experience for customers, such as proper noise levels, the amount of space, the behavior of the other customers they are waiting with, and more. And lastly, there's anticipation. As we have covered in the previous section, sometimes waiting builds excitement, and in many instances, the longer the delay, the sweeter the payoff as long as the outcome feels worth it. In the end, waiting is emotional. It often causes anger, anxiety, and all-around frustration. But it can also create enthusiasm, joy, and a sense of exclusivity. This psychology explains why waiting can be both a cost and a strategy. And in order for a business to properly manage how they handle waiting, they must understand how it is perceived by consumers and how it might affect their behavior. In the end, waiting is an essential factor that every business needs to consider. If it's handled poorly, it will almost certainly lead to a loss of revenue, whether it's from customers walking away, leaving poor reviews that damage reputation, or abandoning carts to visit a competitor's website that's only ever a few clicks away, there's certainly a dark side of delay. But waiting can be manufactured into anticipation and excitement that leads to skyrocketing profits. Apple and many other companies have proved time and again that this can be done. But this must be done strategically, and to come up with a solid strategy, companies must understand customer perception and how they can influence that perception by managing variables such as comfort, fairness, distraction, certainty, and anticipation in the waiting process, because those elements can make a wait go from manageable or even exciting to downright dreadful. Waiting truly is an emotional process, and in order to make it a profitable one, businesses must tap into our emotions. The businesses that are able to do this successfully will be able to turn time into value. This was the Visionary Analyst. Like and subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my social media linked in the description below. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll be diving headfirst into the world of Japanese vending machines. A story of how snacks created a billion-dollar business.